Welcome back. I'm Anastasia, and my mission is to build a community of acceptance and authenticity. I needed some adventure buddies for this journey of insight, and I'm glad it's you. You are all welcome here, and I'm grateful that you decided to join me. Today, I am also joined by Stefani, an incredible human being who opens up about her healing journey and the challenge of falling back into old patterns. We talk growth, we talk relationship dynamics, we talk boundaries, and we talk about how it's okay to feel your experience exactly as it is. Before we get started, I do want to take a moment to thank my partner, Occupied Mind. Occupied Mind's goal is to create a sanctuary of self-expression. Their belief is simple yet profound. Everyone deserves to feel at home in their own skin. We share that dream, which is why I support them, and my closet is slowly turning into an Occupied Mind showroom. Use code InsightsWithUs15 at checkout to find a shirt that speaks your mind and bears your soul. That's OCTOPIEDMIND.com. Use code InsightsWithUs15 at checkout for 15% off. Be authentically you. Okay, so welcome to Insights with Us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so like I kind of mentioned earlier, this space is going to be flexible for us. I really just want to hear your story. I want to get to know who you are and let our listeners maybe just find that flexibility in conversation today. We'll see what comes out of it.
I love it.
So as I kind of mentioned before, I have a question for you that I usually like to start with.
Okay. Hit me with it. I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yeah.
Are you following your dreams right now?
No.
Okay. Tell me more.
Big fat fucking no.
Okay. Big fat fucking no. Okay.
Yeah.
What is a no?
I think my story's interesting in that I've accomplished a lot. Mm-hmm. So when I look back on like my life right now, where I'm at, it feels, I feel like I should feel very validated.
Okay.
And I am in some sense, but for the most part, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you said you have a very interesting story. Can I hear some of those details? Give me context for what this feels like for you.
Yeah, where I'm at right now is I feel like I've lived I'm 37.
Okay.
And I feel like I've lived kind of two separate lives. I've grown up, I grew up in a really conservative Greek family. So big fat Greek family, everyone's Greek Orthodox, pretty religious, parents are pretty conservative.
Okay.
Grew up with two brothers, and being the only girl in the family, I was raised very differently than the boys.
I feel so seen by you right now. Russian Orthodox, 3 older brothers.
Oh my God. Are you Orthodox?
Not raised. My mother was not. My father was.
Okay.
So
you're familiar with that.
Yes. So Russian Orthodox, my grandfather was a priest for the Russian Orthodox Church.
Holy smokes. Okay.
And 3 older brothers.
This is why
only girl.
Oh my God. Perfect.
So yeah, I get the vibe now. Okay, so yes. Yeah, but I feel like because of my mom, I have slightly different. I wasn't raised in the religion.
Yeah.
But I was raised just on the outskirts of it. Like, I'm going to hell because I didn't follow it vibe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, continue.
Yeah, that is so funny. Okay, this is all aligning. I feel like we're going to have like 10 more of those moments.
Yes, probably.
We'll discover them together.
It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So anyway, so that's how I was raised. Mm-hmm. I was always very free-spirited, a little bit more wild, had more of a creative mind versus like my family was like, you need to go to college, you need to get a professional degree, you need to be a pharmacist, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, something with a professional degree where you're like, this is going to be your job and you're going to make your money. And that was the only thing. And I'm a woman, so then I get married and I have kids. Mm-hmm. And so I really didn't think beyond that growing up because I didn't feel that way as a little kid. I did a lot of stuff that really pissed like my mom and my parents off because I would question that kind of stuff. Or like, I didn't want to wear a skirt to church. I wanted to wear pants. Or I didn't care if my toenails were all fucked up and not painted. And my family cared very much about how we presented to other people. So grew up that way. And then kind of as you do, I feel like for a lot of people as they age, and especially in their 30s, you start to shed what's not for you. And you start to just you go back to like who you were as a kid, frankly. So I've been doing a lot of that work the last couple years, the last like decade, I'd say.
Yes. Say you start to notice what boxes you've been put in that don't actually fit who you are.
Yeah. Or I climbed into the box. I was like, that's a cool box. I could fit in that box. Look at me. I was very good at like packaging myself up for other people.
Yeah. Well, and naming it, as kids, we're taught that that's what we're supposed to want.
Right.
Even if your parents are the kind that's like, yes, be who you are, be authentic. Even if that was the case, it's like, okay, but this is how society expects you to show up, and this is what you need to be looking like. And yeah, you can have that identity, but like be nice for the party, or make sure you smile for that photo.
Yes.
We're constantly being put into little boxes.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, like where I'm at right now is I feel like I've done a lot of shedding.
Okay.
Right? So you get rid of all the crap you don't need, you're just like holding on to for other people.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm really showing up really authentically with my relationships with my family, which has caused a lot of friction. And I'm still kind of wanting to walk into a new path that is more aligned where I'm following my dreams, because my dream would be to do what I love creatively.
And what is that?
Dancing, teaching, I don't know, something beyond. I work in sales for a startup company.
Okay.
Which is strange because I'm good at it, but I don't love it. And like, that's not my passion. And I know I have so much more talent over on the creative side of things. I just was brought up thinking I was never going to be good enough. And that's why I needed to study something else. And I'm like realizing I just bought into that. And that's not true at all.
That maybe you can succeed following your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the bulk of the no. But there's so many layers in that.
I want to hear about the shedding of the layers, because you've been on this journey. And you mentioned friction, but there's also this freeing aspect. What has that journey been like for you?
That's been really, really beautiful, but really hard. So I think a lot of it had to do with understanding that I was very good at, again, just becoming a version of myself that I knew the other person would like. And that's kind of how I had to handle myself growing up. So it was just a habit. And then you get a little bit older and you have experiences and relationships, and like hopefully you do some reflecting, which has always been a part of my personality, like kind of looking back at old versions of me and what would I have done differently? What have I learned? But also doing some mushrooms helps too. That'll accelerate the process. Yeah. It's such a centering experience. And it's such a way to, again, just get a sneak peek of like, here, this is really you. Here's all your masks, and here's really you. Right? And like when you see it, you can't unsee it. So then at some point you have to start choosing it. Hopefully, right?
What did seeing you, the real you, feel like?
It felt like there was it was like both ends of a spectrum of like in awe, surprising, but also I know exactly who this person is. There's like, it's almost like a coming home feeling where it's like, it feels very familiar, but it also was like, oh, I'm like awesome. And I have been. I've just been like under stories and stories of crap I've had to like dig up and get myself back out through, you know?
Which is such a journey.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a hard ingrained pattern.
Yeah.
That
it's so easy to fall back into. That's something that I like try to recognize in myself. I try to help my clients with. I talk to all of my friends about, because even if you can see the change and you know what you want, the second life gets stressful or there's a conflict, your body just automatically brings you back into what used to be your norm, even if it isn't necessarily true for who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I like viscerally feel that when I do that in my stomach, like as a wave of like, ugh, like from the top of my stomach down is how that feels. And I've been really trying to work on giving myself more grace and patience and like self-compassion. And that, because you said it, it's just old habits. It's not actually who you are, but it's really hard. I'm extremely hard on myself. And so it's when that does happen, usually I'm really hard on myself and I'm like really good at punishing myself. And I'll do that until I remember that I can be compassionate about this.
What does that look like?
Being compassionate with it?
Maybe starting with, what is it like to be hard on yourself? And then recognizing it and like trying to switch to compassion, because that's a hard one.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And I come from, this is like new to me. I've done a lot of work on this like in the recent last month.
Okay.
Especially.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
This is amazing.
Okay, I'll share my experience. I have a little gremlin inside me. I've named her Kathy. Okay, and Kathy's a bitch. Kathy is like just the worst things to think about yourself in any situation. And it's just how I've been talking to myself literally my entire life. Kathy can be like a stepping stone in being extremely accomplished because I can be so critical and so like, I didn't do that right. I'm going to punish myself until I don't feel like I need to do that. And then I'm going to like stress myself out until I learn this new thing and I'm better at it. And I do the thing I should have done in the first place. So she's helpful, I think, is like a survival mechanism in that way.
For sure. She's
but like,
so helpful.
I don't really, but I don't need her like that anymore. And so it's like when I hear myself talking to myself, like, you should have known better. That was a stupid decision. You should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Of course that didn't work out. You weren't good enough for that anyways. Or whatever the case is. I have to like recognize she's talking.
Oh my God, noticing that part of you is so challenging sometimes.
It is. And I need time. It's hard to see it. I'm really not good at seeing it in the moment.
What does Kathy look like in your mind?
She's like a disheveled, pissed off, like Tasmanian devil running throughout me, gremlin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like she had to stay on top of everything all the time.
Yeah.
And criticizing was her way of making sure you like stayed in line. And so I'm gonna throw a stat, just like with my own parts and also like what I know about it. I'd almost say from your upbringing too.
I know. I almost cut you off just then because I was like, what are you talking about my mother? Are we talking about my mom now?
Well, if you came from a very strict household, your way of protecting yourself would be to think of what they could be thinking about before they thought about it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a part in me who, have you seen Encanto?
Yes.
So basically Bruno, but like the hooded, masked, like scary Bruno.
Yeah.
He runs around in my head. And anytime there's a big change in my life that could potentially lead to catastrophic consequences, he swoops in and gets mad at everyone in my life and tries to push everybody away.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno sucks sometimes. And it's like, Bruno, dude, like, your friends love you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we must push them all away so this change doesn't happen and you stay safe forever. And I'm like,
yeah,
but this change is one that I want. He's like, no, we don't want it. We don't want this change. And you need to hide from everyone you love. I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah. Bruno.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how that shows up for people. I agree. It comes from my upbringing. Yeah. And so it's just creating new habits of not letting Kathy run the show.
Well, and it sounds like you said, protective. Kathy was needed for so long in that way. And how amazing that you're trying to find a new way for her to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to keep her. I feel like you said, she can be helpful, not all the time.
When you fall into old patterns, not all the time.
Yeah, when
right?
I fall into old patterns, definitely not all the time. So,
yeah, I like to think of it as giving that piece of me a promotion. It's like, we don't want to get rid of you. It's just, you've been like the boots on the ground grunt work this whole time. We want to give you like a cushy office job in my brain.
Yes.
Like, let's let you be an overseer so you can like, tell everybody what you're noticing and let somebody else navigate it. Like, I got that. Yes. I can totally navigate it if you just let me know it's happening.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I love that. I think she is the probably the skill behind, like, I'm great at doing a lot of shit at the same time. But keeping track of it.
Yeah.
Like, that is very easy for me. That's Kathy trait for sure.
Yeah. I have a big perfectionist part in me. That's kind of that same role.
Yeah.
Less harsh and more just, you can't stop ever.
Yeah.
Keep trying, make it right, make it perfect, keep going, do it again. Just nonstop.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So let's switch to the other side, which is like, you have these negative thoughts in your head. I have them too. We all have them. But there's the shift of, I want to give myself compassion. I want to give myself that patience, that love. What has that part of this journey been like for you?
That's been really difficult. And I think I'm just getting to like where it's starting to turn good. So I'd love to answer this again in like 2 months.
Oh my God, we'll have you back.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's been really difficult because I think I've got a big resistance to like admitting that I don't love that piece of me. Because I do very much resonate with like the vibration of love, of happiness, of joy. I can get emotional talking about it, but it's really hard to identify with that. And like, I want people to see that part of me too. And to actually look this in the face, like without any smoke screens, and be like, oh, this is a super ugly piece of me.
What you just hit so hard for me and is so authentic, because I hear people all the time in our world be like, you just gotta love yourself, or like, you just have to, give yourself compassion and just accept you for who you are. It's like, yeah, but like, fucking how?
Yeah.
Every single part of me that's ugly or hard to look at, or I've spent my entire life pushing away, how am I supposed to love those parts of me?
Yeah.
It isn't easy.
No, it's not at all. And it's really hard to say, like, I haven't done this the right way my whole life, and now I have to do something different, because we're all conditioned to think that being wrong or doing something the wrong way or making a mistake is bad, and like, we as humans shouldn't make mistakes. How ridiculous, but okay. So what I'm trying to do when I recognize that Kathy's been running the show is like, I'll stop for a moment and think about what the emotion really is. Like, am I ashamed of something? Am I embarrassed for some reason? I'll try and really figure out why she's speaking. Am I not showing up authentically? Am I trying to hide a version of myself so she's telling me I can't do something or can't show up a certain way? And I try and identify whatever that emotion is, and then I literally like visualize, I feel where that is in my body. A lot of the times it's in my stomach, and I will literally try and imagine like a warmth of like glowing love, compassion, just like holding where that is, and like trying to melt, because it's always very hard. The like bad emotion, the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, whatever, the fear is always like, it feels like hard or like intense. And it feels like it needs to be like melted or like softened. So I try and do that, and that will physically make me feel different, which is like the first step for me. I have to feel it viscerally. And then I'm like, and then it's almost like a light switch where I'm like, oh, no, you just messed up. Like, you're actually really great at what you're working on right now. Or you're actually like, you made that mistake because you didn't know what was going to happen. You just, your intention wasn't bad. I have to like literally tell myself the most basic reminders. And now that I'm doing that, like, I feel a lot more love and joy and happiness and release, peace.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
And I think, the way we talk to ourselves does matter.
It does.
And so if you catch yourself having those negative thoughts or beating yourself up for something, or telling yourself that the way you showed up throughout your childhood was wrong, like, it isn't. You did exactly what you needed to do in order to survive that with the tools and the knowledge you had. But you're showing up differently because you have new tools and new knowledge.
Right.
And that doesn't discredit the usefulness of how you used to show up.
Right.
It was right for that period of time.
Exactly.
And you're ready to shift into something new. And so being able to create that distance from the thought itself, from like how you look at it, allows you to shift that perspective.
I think we forget we are like, as humans, we're capable of doing that. Like, it's just a skill that's not taught. But once you learn it, you realize you're in control of so much, and you can shift. I used to be like, I remember, this is a good example of how this would work against me in relationships. When I think of a couple of relationships I've been in the past, like, I remember we'd have a fight, and then I was like, you couldn't penetrate my shield of being pissed at all. I was like, well, we're fighting, so it's like this forever. I just like felt it in my body. I could not get myself out of this horrible mindset. And Kathy was in there going like, you messed this up, blah, 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 blah. This person doesn't like you anymore. Now this is going to happen. And I just
burn it down.
Burn it down. I just didn't know that there was also a world in which you can talk about that and then release all of that and then go back to being happy. And that was never modeled for me growing up. Oh my gosh.
I almost have the opposite
really
challenge. I had a lot of emotional instability growing up. I am the only person in my family with mental health awareness.
Oh my God, me too.
And like, they're trying and they've made a lot of really great progress, but like, none of them have gone to therapy. None of them have really read the books. None of them have done this work. And so I was always the one, because I was the only girl and I was the youngest and I was always very sensitive. They all put it on me unintentionally. And so I was never allowed to ever show my own emotions, ever. And then I became a therapist.
Same.
Where I'm not allowed to show up in the world. Like, for my job, for my clients, is to be there for them.
Yeah.
And I've learned a little bit how to bring my human self into the sessions. But if I do self-disclose, if I do shift anything or share anything, it is from the perspective of how does this help them? And that is one of the things that this podcast is giving me. Is that I'm learning that this is a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get to share too. I get to talk too. It isn't just me. Like, yes, I want to hear your story and I'm here because I want you on to talk about yourself, but I want it to be this joint building of connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should show up because you're freaking cool. I love when my therapist shares personal stuff. I'm like, oh my God, she's here with me. Okay.
I sprinkle it here and there, and like some clients need it more than others. And so I've gotten better at like judging, but it's judging how much of myself can show up in here for it to continue to be therapeutic, versus like in my life, I need to be able to show up for myself.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like I sometimes use the therapist persona, this part of me that's really good at being a therapist and thinking about the dynamics of it all. I use that as a protector so that I don't have to show up upset. If I'm in conflict with somebody, it's like, tell me about what you're going through. And, oh, that must be so hard. And, well, let me share it from my perspective. Like, it's like I go into full therapist mode because it's safer than me showing up crying or upset or being, no, you fucking hurt me.
Yeah.
And I need you to hear that you hurt me. It's like, well, yeah, I got really upset by that, but like, I can totally hear where you're coming from. And like, here, let me help you feel better. That's my automatic reaction. And then like 3 days later, I'm like, damn it, I did it again. I didn't let my feelings show up and I didn't let the other person be uncomfortable because I was uncomfortable. I just took care of them the whole time and then I did nothing. And it's so difficult to let those parts of yourselves that like you're not used to letting exist.
Yes. Yeah. I really resonate with that. I think that's growing up the way my parents function is like, it was never okay to be upset. And if you were upset, it wasn't okay to talk about it. It was very passive. My parents were super passive aggressive with each other. And I remember growing up, I was always told, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, you took that the wrong way. I would share I was upset about something and then it was excused away. Or I got a talking to about why I don't feel that way and why I shouldn't feel that way. And it really made me mistrust myself. And it's so funny because now I look and I have done some of this work where I can see how my family functions and why that happened, but I can also see where they're at and they're like, oh, you're still stuck in these patterns. And it is really hard to let those emotions I wasn't allowed to let them show growing up. And so now I'm doing so in a healthy way, and it's hard for people that don't allow them to do it themselves, and now you're doing it, and it's like this new dynamic. That's part of the friction with my family.
And they don't know how to show up. And so I always equate when you finally learn how to start setting boundaries, even if it's like a baby boundary. If the other person isn't used to boundaries being set, I equate the reaction that happens to a toddler tantrum.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yes.
Because they don't know how to hear no.
Yeah.
And they're used to it being a certain way. And they're like, why are you suddenly saying no now? Like, clearly something's wrong. Why are you mad at me? I haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to push you until you say yes.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, if you have the awareness, you sit back and you're like, this is literally why I have to say no.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the reason.
This is it. Yep. You're explaining it exactly why.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. And a lot of behavior is like excused in that type of dynamic too.
Yeah.
And so you think that bad behaviors are okay, or, hurtful behaviors are okay. So I struggle with that big time with my family. There's a big gap between how we look at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, same. Although I will say I have been challenging them a lot recently, especially since starting my podcast.
Yeah.
And, I'm certified as a trauma therapist through an international organization now. So I'm like one in around 8,000 people that hold this certification. So they'll come in and be like, that's not how it is. I'm like, no, it is.
Yeah.
It is exact. Actually, yes, I am actually the expert in this now.
Yeah.
It isn't just me as a teenager going, I don't know if that's right. It's like, no, literally research shows that this is what is right.
Yeah, that is so
and
funny.
I don't care if you don't agree with me. Research agrees with me.
How long would you say you've been on the more, like you've been challenging your family more with that?
Not long. Because even though I've been in school for it forever, it's very different from knowing it to doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's a great question. I have to sit with it for a second. Think about my timeline. Honestly, probably. So I lived with my family in different ways for a lot of my life. Like when I moved to America for college, I moved in with my brothers. And then I lived with my parents for a minute. And then I came to Denver area for grad school and I lived with my other brother. And then everybody slowly moved to that house. So suddenly I lived with all of them. And then I moved out with my now ex. And that was kind of the first time that I was away from all of them for an extended period of time. And it was also during COVID. So there was that we can't see each other.
Yeah.
And I think
COVID was so weird.
It was so weird. And I lived with 4 male engineers during lockdown.
Great. Did everything in your house work?
I mean, they were really, really good. Like I would in the morning, I'm like, man, it'd be really cool if we could figure out how to build a thing for this part that's really inconvenient in our life. And I'd go into my office for sessions and they, have their meetings and do their things. But then I'd come out at the end of the day and it was fixed and done. And they're like, yeah, I just 3D printed that piece real quick. Or like, yeah, I just built a ramp for your dog. And I'm like,
great.
Oh my God, that's great.
I just picture every door handle working, nothing's creaking, like nothing's broken. That's the dream.
Yeah, we had 3 mechanical engineers and an electrical engineer.
That's so hilarious.
And then I took care of everyone's mental health.
Yes, lucky you.
During COVID. But honestly, there were so many challenges during COVID for anybody, no matter what your dynamic was. If you were more extroverted, you suddenly found yourself more isolated. If you're introverted, there was maybe a little bit of happiness, but if you had any roommate, you were suddenly stuck with them all the time. And we had a mix of like extrovert and introvert in that household. Yeah. So the extroverts like globbed onto everybody else. Like, I can never be alone. I don't know how to be alone. You have to help me. And the introverts are like, please get away from me. So I learned in that household, because none of them were family. I'm like, no, I'm going to leave. Like, no, I have to walk away. No, I need this minute. I literally used to lock myself in my office.
Wow.
Rather than like just give into it. But like, no, like literally I will fall apart if I don't have alone time. I will be like barricading myself and none of you will get to me for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so that happened. And then I started my business, my private practice, quit my safety job, broke up with that boyfriend, and then suddenly needed a place to live. And I moved back in with my family.
Wow.
And so, which, I'm so grateful. And we had so many amazing times. And they're amazing people. And I was an adult that had learned to set boundaries, that had grown so much during that period of time, that coming back, it was like the veil had lifted.
Yeah.
And I was suddenly seeing it from that distanced perspective of, oh, this is the dynamic I've lived in this whole time and had no idea about.
Was it super yucky? It was so yucky the first time I really saw that with my family. I was like, oh, I'm going to be sick.
It was so hard.
Yeah.
It did. It really upset me. And what made it worse is I am literally trained in the things that make it better.
Yeah.
And it is my job to help people heal that, and none of them want it. And so it's like the hardest thing to be able to see that and like not psychoanalyze them, because I'm not going to do that work for them. But like, I can't unsee these patterns now that I've seen them. Just like you can't unsee seeing a piece of yourself that you've been pushing down forever. That you shouldn't be pushing down, like suddenly you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And so it was so difficult. And the only thing you ever have power over is yourself. And so I can't make them do the work. I can't make them question these patterns. Every time they go, this is just who I am, my brain screams, no, it's not. It's a pattern. You have the choice to shift. But if that's what they believe and they don't want to work on it, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
And so I started, saying no a little bit more. Sometimes I still fall into those patterns. And sometimes I go, you know what? This pattern isn't worth setting a boundary over. I'm going to move out eventually. Like, it's fine. It keeps the peace and it helps them feel connected. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. But some of them were worth fighting for. And there were some explosions. And there were some like, I just don't get why she's being so difficult. And then like 3 months later, they're finally like settled down enough that I can reiterate my position. And a couple times my family would be like, oh, okay. I didn't see it from that perspective like months ago. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't talk for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Your dynamics are very similar to mine. I really resonate with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I also think too, with what I've seen, because when you do start setting boundaries for the first time and you do start saying these things, like you said, your family has, or my family had this like temper tantrum, 3-year-old, like kicking and screaming. They still have those reactions, frankly, but I just don't care as much because I'm like, I feel much more steadfast and centered in who I am. And so for me, really the only thing I like really try and recenter myself when I'm around them, because I know if I keep showing up this way, they're going to see that. And there's something energetically too, I think, when you have someone that is more aligned with themselves, more authentic, not showing up with all of the bad patterns and the different masks and the manipulation and like trying to control a situation, trying to control what someone else thinks. There's a freeness to that I really think our subconscious connects to as a human, whether you want to or not. Like, even if you're the most conditioned person and you've never thought to question yourself or these habits, there's something internally that like you can recognize when someone's happy and authentic. And there is something that we're like, oh, but I want what they have, because that's all we're trying to get, right? So you just keep doing that, because
I'm having so many thoughts right now.
Yeah.
And first, I kind of want to normalize something just for our listeners, because, you know, this conversation we're having, we're both going, ooh, that resonates for these reasons. Ooh, that resonates for this reason.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe that this is universal.
Yeah.
And in my work, it's universal, where if anyone who struggles to set boundaries suddenly starts, there will be at least one person, probably more, in their life that will have those tantrums.
Yes.
It is so common.
It happens every time. Don't expect it not to happen. It's going to happen. So just watch it happen.
Yeah. This isn't like oh no, I said no and suddenly they're yelling at me. What's wrong with me that they're yelling? No, this is a common universal experience when you start setting boundaries, because it's so hard. It's so challenging because they're not used to you saying no. Enforcing is the hardest part.
Yeah, 100%. And it's hard. It can be hurtful too, those reactions. Like, you can prepare for it as best you can, but sometimes those are the people that have access to the buttons to really piss you off or to really hurt you. And to get an uncaring, unkind, unloving, very conditional reaction to you saying what you need to be healthy, safe, peaceful, happy, joyous, to create a better relationship with this person, and them taking it so personally, and now it's your fault for making them feel bad, or whatever, however they're trying to spin it, is like, it can be so hurtful because you're just trying to be honest.
You're trying to be authentic.
Yeah, and you're just trying to say, like, this is what's going to be helpful to me, and your reaction is telling me you don't care what's helpful to me. And that's hurtful.
Yeah. But it doesn't actually have anything to do with you. It's that their world is suddenly off kilter and they don't understand why it's shifting. Because, you know, like, I'm the one that's doing the work. I'm the one that's understanding the patterns. I'm the one that's suddenly getting, oh my God, this is what I need in order to heal.
Yeah.
And in order to feel closer to them, these boundaries are going to help. But they don't have that same insight. They can't see it from my perspective because they haven't done that work. They haven't slowed down to look at it. So if you are living your life and doing your thing and everything feels fine and normal, and then one of your friends suddenly comes over and is completely different or showing up in a way that you never expected, that's a little startling. It's going to take a minute to be able to adjust to that.
Yeah.
So, like, valid if you're shocked or upset. But also for those of us setting those boundaries, like, stay strong, even if it hurts you, because it will be worth it in the long run the more you can enforce it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the payoff on that is, like, absolutely worth it. Yeah, I totally agree. What do you like recommend when you start doing that with your family?
Like boundary setting?
Yeah. What is your recommendation? Like, how do you approach that?
Okay. So great question.
Because I know how I did it. It is probably not what you would recommend.
Okay, wait. Before I answer, can you tell me how you started it?
Yeah, I am one of those people that's like, I will explain it as like a buzzing, like an enclosed ball of energy that is just like buzzing.
It's like I have to get this out.
Yeah, until it's like,
Okay.
and the boom was like me going off on my family. Like, just got to a point where I was like, and you're doing this, and like I was just calling their shit out, and then I was like, and I am not staying in this house, and don't call me. Just had my moment.
Well, you hit that line where it was no longer okay.
Yeah.
And so, it makes sense that you'd explode that way. That's totally normal. If somebody comes in and they're like, I need to start setting boundaries. If they're in like that example, I'd be like, oh, damn, hell yes, girl, you got this. Now let's talk about how to make it sustainable, right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, you've already done that part, but like, what can you actually enforce and what does it look like long-term now that it's out in the open?
Yeah.
Like you've had the conversation once, maybe not in like the super calm, let me try to tell you how I'm feeling way, but in the like, this is in your face, you can't ignore it kind of way. Great, you've had it once. Now you can keep going, remember that time I freaked out? This is what I'm talking about. We need to stop this. Yeah. I'm like, hey, no, I'm saying no right now so that doesn't happen again. It's like being able to almost use that as the basis for the change that happens next.
Yeah.
On the flip side, the people that are like full on people pleasers like me, can't explode, never exploded. I'm very much like, hey, if you don't mind, I'd really like it if you stopped just like taking all of my stuff without asking. Yeah. Thanks, that'd be so great. Like that was me growing up. Yeah. And I've never really had a full on explosion moment. But what I say, is I need it. I feel like I need some of that in my life. For you. Maybe someday I'll go off on Elliot and he'll just look at me like, I'm so proud of you right now. He won't get defensive at all. Like it will be such a beautiful moment that even he will see that I've broken free of this therapist persona.
Hell yeah.
But I always say there's 3 steps to set boundaries and they get harder as the steps continue. The first is you have to know what your boundary is. And boundaries are literally everywhere. Like, as you learned coming over today, there's no door to my bathroom.
Yeah.
And like when some people have seen that and gone, oh my God, I could never live here. Meanwhile, like Elliot and I were like, we'd never close the door anyway. Like it doesn't matter. And so that's a boundary.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific side of the bed you'd like to sleep on? And if you have a partner and they sit on that side, you'd probably get upset. That's a boundary. Are you a hugger or not? That's a boundary. Do you let people borrow your car or not? If you have a food that you don't like, do you say, no, thank you, that's not my favorite food, I don't really want it, or do you eat it anyway? That's a boundary. Like boundaries can be so big, but they can also be so small.
Yeah.
And you just need, and there's so many different kinds. Even like, what we mentioned is personal space boundaries. There's like emotional boundaries, how much you share or don't share with somebody. You and I have very loose emotional boundaries because it's a yes to be in this space together. There's intellectual boundaries. What are you okay talking to people about? There's material boundaries, like your stuff. What you're okay with sharing or not sharing. And then there's time boundaries, which is one I struggle with, which is how much time to give to each category of your life or each person in your life. Yeah. And if somebody demands a lot more time than you can give, they're crossing your boundary there. And so 1, you have to know what's there. 2, you have to be able to physically tell the other person that that boundary exists. If you cannot physically verbalize it, they have no way of reading your mind. They don't know they're crossing your boundary. They're going to keep doing it. And then the third and hardest one is you have to be able to enforce it. So it's not just, hey, that's my boundary. And then they can still keep doing whatever they want. It doesn't matter that they told you that, or you told them that your boundary is there. But if you say, hey, this is really important to me. If you keep doing that, this is how I'm going to react. So like with time boundaries, I love to go to bed early. I am not a stay up late kind of person. I never have been. And so if I'm out and about, I will leave when it hits a certain point of time because then I feel better tomorrow having gone to bed early. And so if one of my friends is like, no, stay out. No, this will be so fun. Well, let's go to the second location. Well, let's do that. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
After this drink, I'm done.
Yeah.
And if they keep pushing, you know, the people pleaser in me is like, well, it's really important to them. It's totally fine. And like, you can do one more drink. It's okay. But enforcing the boundary is, no, I said after this drink, I'm leaving. Hey, the drink's done. I've got to go.
Yeah.
And so when someone struggles to enforce a boundary, it's usually a sign that the boundary's too big. It's too important, which means it's too massive to enforce. So I always start with like tiny baby boundaries that are so easy to enforce, you don't even think about it. Like not even a boundary that you even think of as a boundary. Like I put do not disturb on my phone starting at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
My phone does it for me. I don't even have to enforce it.
Yeah.
And starting there and then slowly building up, eventually you can be like, no, family member, like this is what I'm going to do. And I've told you that this is how I'm going to do it. The last 3 times I'm doing it this way. And if they go, well, fuck you, I'm not talking to you then. You go, okay, that sucks.
You've communicated.
I told you what I needed. And I told you I was happy to talk about it with you or process it with you. If you don't want to speak to me right now, that's your choice. That's your boundary. And I'm going to respect that.
Yeah. Boundaries are beautiful. They're like a guidebook for how to love someone, frankly.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, there's a quote, and I'm sure you've heard it, but it's boundaries are the distance with which I can love you and myself at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so important. Yeah, I've had to enforce a lot of boundaries with my family.
I have to enforce a lot of boundaries with a lot of people because I am very introverted. I am a big homebody, and honestly, not a lot of people understand that.
Yeah,
and
I really understand that. I'm so glad. Like literally, your time boundary example and the do not disturb. I was like, yeah, mine starts at 7.
I should do that.
So
I should do it earlier. And it's what I love about mine is that if I open up my phone, I can still see it all. Like I can see what notifications are there if I want to, but it's not like being shoved in my face.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I want to circle back to something that you had said of like somebody who hasn't unlocked those pieces of themselves yet. Might watch somebody being authentic and free. And even if they're sitting there like judging the other person or be like, oh my God, how could you? Like a part of them is like, wow, that person's really free in themselves.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think about how sometimes when somebody is like that, if they're more caged and can't be themselves or don't even know what it means to be themselves, and they're watching somebody else be really authentic, I feel like that can be such a scary experience of like for the person who is caged. Like that, like you said, it's terrifying doing this work. It is so scary to acknowledge the pieces of ourselves that we've been ignoring.
Yeah.
And so if you've lived your whole life caged and then you see somebody who's free, that's terrifying. That difference. Because it means that there's something that's lacking there that maybe you do want way deep down inside, but you've never been allowed to even admit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I also think too, there's such a what's the word? Maybe not parallel, but we'll use parallel for right now. But there's like parallel between when you see someone being really authentic and it scares you or it makes you uncomfortable. Like oh my God, that person's laughing so loud. And maybe they're really enjoying themselves and they're in the moment and they're present, they're experiencing joy and, you know, humor and laughter, whatever connection. And it makes you uncomfortable because they're being louder than like you would be if you were in that situation, or maybe you were allowed to be growing up, like whatever the case is. It's such a reflection on how much you can celebrate with someone else. Is such a reflection on how much you can celebrate with yourself. That's what it is. And so I definitely think that is part of it. I've felt that. I feel like I'm close enough to doing a lot of this work that I remember feeling the other side of this. I remember seeing other people. It's so interesting. This has happened to me more recently in dance. So as I'm taking like these dance classes and performing and stuff, I remember growing up and watching other dancers and just being like drawn to the ones who were so authentic and real and vulnerable when they moved, where I was like, oh my God, how are they showing that like emotion through their dancing? I always had it through the body, but I had a really hard time showing it through my face and like emoting it.
The like spark inside of the dance move.
Yes. And so I would have these moments where I could do it, but it wasn't consistent. And it's not until recently I've been starting to get feedback where my teachers are like, I'm going to bring her out to dance because she's so free when she dances. You just see what's happening. And it's like this blockage I had to clear within. It's just self-work, right? And being comfortable and loving who I am, and then being able to show that and share that.
Yeah.
So that's how I've experienced the other side. But I remember I'd be intimidated and I'd be like, well, it's because they're older or they've had more experiences, or which may be true, but like, it's also because this person's just showing up authentically. We want to be able to do that. But I think so many of us we're not raised where that was like safe.
Yeah.
Or I try and have a lot of patience and understanding for the older generation.
They were raised in a very different world than us.
Very different. So as frustrating as it is, like they were never allowed to be who they were. And so it's so deep within them now. They don't even see it. And that is a hard place to be.
That's that I just am who I am.
Yes.
But you don't have to be that person.
No. And it's so, I feel like once you start doing little things that take you towards being more authentic, and you do try laughing out loud, or you do try showing your emotion of it if you're in a dance class, or you know, share something you wouldn't have normally shared, like those little things is like, it's money in the bank. Like it starts to save and it starts to add up, and it gives you a foundation to step on when you do need to be more authentic, and hopefully you can keep moving in that direction.
Yeah. Oh, I love this dance example too, because as you know, Elliot is just like so open and authentic when he dances.
Yeah. And that's why I love dancing with him.
Same.
Yeah.
And when I first, because I didn't learn Latin dance until I started dating him. And so partner dance and social dancing and all of that was so new to me.
Yeah.
I was in a studio, you learn the steps, or you like create your own choreography, but then you perform it and then you move on to the next thing. Like that's what I grew up with.
Yes.
And so like shifting into that space, and he's so free and so authentic, and I barely even knew the steps. And so it's like we were on that opposite side, where I was so focused in on, what am I supposed to be doing? What is right? How do I follow? What does this look like? And he's like, you just need to have fun with it. I'm like, I can't. I don't know how to have fun with it yet. Like I don't understand it enough to have fun with it. And then we get to socials and I'd be like trying to figure it out, but being clunky and being so focused in on what was right. And every time people are like, well, who are you here with? And I'm like, oh, him. And I'd point over to Elliot and I'd be like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's my favorite to dance with.
Yes.
For the first like 6 to 8 months, I got more compliments about him than people actually talking to me.
And really funny.
After about 8-ish months, like I felt confident enough in my ability to follow, in my ability to read, in my ability to have that conversation with a dance partner, that suddenly I'm like, wait, how do I do a flare? Wait, how do I have fun with this? And it's like, first you have to see what's even there and learn it. And then you have to kind of bumble through it and feel awkward in it. It doesn't really feel authentic yet.
Yes.
But you want to figure it out.
Yeah, you've got to create some muscle memory.
And then once you have that muscle memory, it's like, now I get to play.
Yes.
And I get to be free. And I, in life, I get to wear what I want and dance to what I want to dance to and go to the movies that I like. And if some people are inviting me to a movie that isn't my style, I can say no. And just like, who do I want to be? Yeah. And what actually feels right? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's such a beautiful example. I love that you've felt that in like your dance journey. I teach a little bit on the side, and it's my favorite to see new students go from how do I do this to, but like the impetus for them coming in was, I saw this person dancing and they were amazing. And it was just like, I got to see how much joy they were having, and I want to experience that. And there's such a, with social dance, whether it's Latin dancing, swing dancing, ballroom, whatever, anything you're dancing with a partner or social dance, there has to be a foundation in which like you understand mechanically how it's going to work, right? Because then you can get the muscle memory. But once it's in your body, then you can come up to the brain and be like, oh, what am I trying to like emote, or can I connect with this person? Am I really present with them here and now? Elliot's really good at being super present, super vulnerable, but he's also a very safe person to dance with. And especially in like the Latin scene, that's hard to find. So I'm not surprised you got a lot of comments where people were like, I love him. Because he's
so safe.
So safe. And that's for women, especially, and dancers and any sort of social dance. That's an important piece for us to be able to show up and experience that same elation where you're like, I'm present, I'm here, I'm experiencing, we're telling this story, we're sharing this, it's vulnerable, it's close, and not feel like you also need to have your shield up, your guard up, and you're still protecting yourself just in case this person you're dancing with doesn't have the right intentions or is trying, you know what I mean?
Like, you're doing a body roll. Are you doing it just because you want to, or because you want to like get close to me?
I was like, you're trying to get close to me? Is your ex in the room? Like, why are you doing that? Yeah, like what's happening?
I've been there.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't feel good. That's why it's, really lovely to dance with him.
And continuing with this example, let's bring it back to the mental health and the boundaries.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing this work, you have to build that muscle memory. Like going to therapy or reading the book or listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's building that muscle memory. It's going to the gym and putting the work in to figure out what the steps even are.
Yeah.
And once you have the language, once you can be like, oh, that's what it means to be activated. Ooh, this is what it could look like to feel in your body. Like once you start understanding what you could even learn, then you can start practicing it. Then you can feel more comfortable in it. And then you get to play with it. And if you have safe people and safe spaces, then you will feel that safe energy and you're more likely to explore and get a little bit more vulnerable and be a little bit more authentic.
Yeah.
And like the people that are out in the world just authentically being themselves, it's like they've put that work in, whether it came naturally to them or it's, decades of therapy.
Yeah.
Getting to the point of like, no, this is who I am and I don't care what other people think and I really am just going to be this way.
Yes.
Like you have the ability to go there and it's just like going to the gym. It's just 100%. For your mind.
100% too. And I would say I went through like a really hard depression, like 2022 to 2024. I'm just coming out of it. Okay. We're here again.
Welcome.
Thanks. It took a couple years.
It happens.
It was really difficult, but I remember I would listen to things like this and I'd be like, I just don't think that's possible. Like it just feels so like those things aren't possible. And I'm freshly coming off of putting enough money in that bank, into that foundation, into that muscle memory where I'm changing my thoughts, my habits, and all of that. And it really didn't feel like I wanted it to feel like, okay, now I've made the decision and now it feels like I've changed and now I'm out of this depression and everything's going to be good. And it doesn't feel like that. Like you have to just suck it up kind of and just say, I'm going to keep doing this in like hopes it's going to pay off. And it will, just like anything else. So I always like to remind people of that if you're in that dark, dark place.
It's not as easy as I want to feel better now.
Yeah, you have to build a foundation for you to then start crawling up out of the hole to see the sunlight.
Well, and I always tell anybody who will listen that sustainable change takes time. It can't be a light switch. It's a dimmer switch. And so if you're in a deep, deep depression, you're not necessarily going to be able to just wake up the next day and feel better.
Yeah.
And so you want to start looking for little things like maybe you didn't have to force yourself out of bed that day.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're sitting on the couch and you've been binge watching something and you've just been really numb and feeling really stuck. And then maybe something on the TV actually made you laugh.
Yeah.
Right? Like that.
Yeah.
That's
those are
a
the
cue.
moments. Yeah.
And that's the thing that you need to pay attention to and then be like, holy shit, I just laughed at that. That felt good. And then you can go right back to being numb. That doesn't mean suddenly you're better.
Yeah.
It's just that one little moment is a cue that you're still in there.
Yeah.
And that it is temporary. It's just lasting longer than you want to.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes to all of that. One more time louder for the people in the back. Or for me a couple years ago. Let's like scream it into the ethers.
It was temporary, Stephanie.
I know.
You got through it. And
No, I
you will
didn't
get through
know.
the next one again.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Yes.
And you are building this space where you can show up that way when you need to.
Yeah.
Like, you could reach out to me mid-depression and be like, you just want to rot on the couch? Like, okay, your place or mine. Can I bring the dog? Like,
Yeah. We're rotting.
I got
bring the dog.
I got all of these squishmallows. Let's get cozy. Bring your coziest hoodie over. Like, let's rot.
Yeah.
You don't even have to talk to me.
I love that
I've
so
actually
much.
done that with friends before who are in a shitty space. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
do you want distraction? I will come over and talk at you for an hour. Do you want just company and solitude? I will sit next to you and be silent. We can put on a movie. We can do whatever you want. Do you want to talk through it? I can listen.
Yeah.
Like, it's my favorite thing to just be able to show up in that space and let somebody who's struggling just struggle.
Yeah. That's really beautiful.
It's hard for all of us.
Yeah, it's well, and I think it's really hard too to allow someone in if you're in that space. I didn't let anyone in.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
I go back and forth. I'm like I freak out for a second that I'm isolating too much because I have enough mental health awareness that I'm like, I reach out to everybody in one moment, and whoever reaches out, I'll like call them and cry for like an hour. And I'm like, that was way too much. Why did I do that? Oh God, now they're mad at me forever. And then I like go back to isolating.
Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah, I understand.
It's a journey.
Oh, it is a journey. Yeah. Can I ask what your sign is? Would you share your zodiac sign?
I'm Aquarius.
You're an Aquarius? I love that.
Okay, what does it mean for me? Tell me.
I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what it means for you.
But what is, like, when I say I'm Aquarius, what does that mean to you?
I was, well, I definitely have a couple of very close Aquarii in my circle.
Okay.
Is that the plural of Aquarius?
Let's just go with it.
Okay. But I adore them because they all like really think outside the box. Like anytime I have conversations with them, they're always bringing a perspective that I resonate with, but I just would never word it that way, or I would never think of it that way, or I would never look at it this way.
Yep, that fits for me.
Yeah, I was like, and I love this conversation because that really aligns. I was also thinking maybe you're a water sign, but you're not. But you have so much empathy and you have so much connection to your emotion.
Yeah. I had that
really
before I was a therapist. It came naturally to
Yeah.
me. It's my genetics.
I was born that way.
I was born that way.
I was born that way too. The only one in my family, though. We're few and far between.
I think my family has strong empathy, but I think there's a lot of old patterns and societal pressures that's been put on everybody.
Yeah.
And I think I was just so sensitive and empathetic that I couldn't, like, I tried to fit in the box, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I was going to be me no matter what. And I was going to cry when I needed to cry, even if people told me not to. And just, I found the way to let that be okay as I got older, because it was never going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful you realize that young.
I mean, if I'm crying nonstop and everybody's trying to get me not to cry and I'm crying anyway, don't really have a choice to be like literally, if I start crying, I'll be like, don't worry. I'm just a crier.
Yeah.
It happens. Like, I've literally cried from boredom before. Like, I am a crier.
I'm an easy crier too.
Yeah. And it's just okay.
Yeah.
It's exactly who we are.
It makes my family so uncomfortable, but
One of the most healing things that Elliot did when we first started dating, just who he is, this kind, amazing person. I would start crying and he'd be like, well, it sounds like you needed to cry. Let's let it out. Let's just cry. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to cry harder now. And I said, okay, why are you yelling at me? And he's like, because you needed to cry, obviously. And I'm like, nobody has literally ever said this to me before in my life.
Yeah, crying's the best. I had a moment where I realized it was okay to cry, and I loved that I cry on my very first mushroom trip. And there was this moment where I was like real stuck on the stairs. It was a heavy trip, okay?
Okay.
And I'm like on the stairs with one of my best friends who was kind of my guide for that. And I'm like crying on these stairs, and it's nighttime and all the lights are turned off, but I have this frosted front door. So all of these like headlights are kind of flashing by. I can see this so clearly. And I just remember looking at my friend and I was like, do you want to cry on the stairs with me? And she was like, no, but when you're done, we can go upstairs. And I was like, okay.
I loved it.
But I just remember being like, I need to cry. Do you want to cry with me? Like, I would have never asked that.
I would have cried with you.
We would have
If I
cried
could have
together.
accessed it, we would cry together.
Yeah.
I love this so much.
Me too.
Because crying is such a release.
It is.
It literally, if you're feeling a different emotion when you cry, the anatomy of the tears, like if you put it under a microscope, it looks different.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I have a book. I'll show it to you when we're done recording, but it's called The Topography of Tears.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So you are literally crying out the different hormones and like chemicals that your body needs to be releasing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Our bodies are so cool.
They're so cool.
They're the coolest things. They know everything. The answers are within. Okay.
Yeah, they are. We just have to be able to slow down enough to listen.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I want to bring it back to you.
Okay.
What do you enjoy about being you?
This question, I don't know if I've ever been asked this question. What do I enjoy about being me? I'm super weird. I very much enjoy my weirdness, I would say. I just am like naturally a kind of like happy, funny, weird, internal person. Like I love connecting with people, but I also love just like doing by myself. And so that is like very fun for me. And I also think too, I definitely have a way of like being able to connect with people, whether they're willing to connect with me or not.
Yep.
I can tap in typically to where they're at.
I feel that.
And so it's kind of fun for me to like go through life and be like, oh, that, you know, checkout person was having a day. I'm going to bounce over here now. Like it's easy for me to tap into people. So that to me is like a fun way of like how I go about my day when I'm out and about. I like to do that. I also like to see how I can affect other people. You know, I think it's naturally when I'm in a really good place, it's like easy for me to bring someone there with me. Yeah, and I also think I'm really funny, but
I mean, I agree with that.
I mean, listen,
this is like the longest conversation you and I have ever had in all the time of our friendship.
It's so funny.
And you know what? I do find you funny.
Thank you. I think I'm pretty funny too.
I think you're kind and you're open and you do give off such an authentic energy.
Thank you.
And so I know like falling into patterns and the push and pull and the roller coaster of life and the healing journey, but like you're doing it
every day.
And you're just still doing it. Like you're going to keep on doing it.
I know.
And I am so grateful that you're sharing this journey with me.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been really fun. I tapped, because I kind of tapped into this. I was like, I wonder how, you know, she's going to be. And I was like, tapped into you for a second. I was like, we're going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
I'm not even worried about this. It's going to flow.
If I'm being totally honest, I'm like, damn, why did we invite people over? Like, can we just like put on pajamas and have like a sleepover and just talk forever?
We should do that. Let's definitely plan that. I would love that.
I would love that so much. Yeah. I think we have so much to talk about that we haven't even tapped into. And I have no idea how long we've been talking for. Oh, yeah. We've been talking for a little over an hour. So
we did it.
Let me end with, is there anything we did not talk about that you would like to mention today?
Let me touch your hands while I answer
this.
Just
think about it.
Be super weird.
What is our intention right now? What our body wanted to do.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything we haven't touched on. But if we're doing like closing remarks, I think, I don't know, here's something I would tell my past self.
Oh, I love it.
That would be helpful now that I've learned this. So maybe someone else can use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in that dark place, like I feel like I really was on the fence of like, am I going to do the self-work? Do I want to go to therapy? Am I going to change who I am and who I thought I've been my entire life? Am I going to start exploring? And this like spans in so many different areas of my life. So like my personal beliefs, my sexuality, the way I like show up in relationships, it touches every little thing. Like if you're flirting with like, should I show up more authentically? Because I think it's very easy to not live in love, but live in fear. And then you're like doubling down on the shit that it really isn't for you because it's what you know and it feels safer. Do the unsafe thing. Like do the little thing today that scares you. Show up authentically, laugh loud, even if it's one tiny little thing, and then just keep doing that and let that build until you're like ready to take a step in this new path, because it's so worth it. And I'm not even fully down that path. Like I think it's going to keep giving me dividends back, like for real. I'm just on the other side of doing a lot of work to where I'm starting to like bear the fruits of my labor, and I'm so happy I've done it. So do it.
Yeah, do it scared. Notice the fear. Be curious about the fear.
Yeah.
I have a supervisor that says what's in the way is the way. Mm-hmm. So if something feels like it's blocking you, look at that.
Yes.
Like let the path guide you that way first.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that so much.
Yeah.
Just do it scared. And the journey continues. I think this I'm going to take a stab at the energy I'm feeling from you and feel like this is the type of person that you are. So I'm just going to say it. And if you're like, that is not me at all,
I'll tell
valid. But you seem like the kind of person like I am too. And like some of my favorite people to work with are, which is every time they learn something, it opens like 10 more doors.
Yes.
And so that like the journey is never over, but it's not because you're not healing, but it's because there's always more to learn, always more to discover, always more to be afraid of. That suddenly you need to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah.
And if you have that curiosity and that passion to figure it out and that want to be as authentic as you can be, like it never ends. And I don't know, I have the perspective like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's so exciting that my authenticity never hits a limit.
Yes.
Like,
well, I think you do it for all of that. And I personally do it for the payoff. I do it for I know when I did the really scary thing, how it paid off and like the incredible joy, elation that I didn't even know was possible, I felt. So I'm betting on the fact that that's going to keep happening too. Like I'm like kind of in search for like, as like adrenaline junkies are, like that's what I want to keep feeling in different ways.
Yes, it just feels so good to hit that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Knowing that there will be another one down the line.
Yes, 100%.
Stefani is a yes for me. She's an amazing friend and an amazing person. And I love that we got to show up so authentically in this space today. And I'm grateful that one, I was able to have this experience with her, and two, that I got to share it with you at the same time. And I agree with Stefani, this journey is so, so worth it. Hopefully something we talked about today resonated with you. If it did, let yourself sit with that idea for a little while longer. If you have any questions for this podcast or any themes you'd like us to focus on in the future, send us a message on Instagram at Insights With Us Podcast, or send us an email at insightswithus@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to hear more, please follow, like, or subscribe. If you want to support the continuation of this podcast, you can donate. To do so, find me, Anastasia Soroka, on buymeacoffee.com. You can also find Insights With Us on Substack for exclusive content, including videos and other writings about my insight journey. You can find digital downloads on my website, happymindwellness.com. Thank you for being my adventure buddy. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for creating insight with us.